Yash, and our cameraman Saman and Aviraj. We are the student of Maharaja Ranjit Singh's groups of institutions. We welcome you sir today. My first question is, can you share a bit about your journey? What inspired you to start Zeta Innovation Lab?
Thank you for having me today. So, I started my career in about 1996. I passed out from REC Jalandhar. I did my industrial engineering. I had a campus job with the same Gobind group, which was into making grinding wheels and cutting fluids. So, I worked there about 1.5 years. Then I moved into software. I joined Infosys. For about a year, I was working with Infosys and I had my US posting due, and I came back to join my family business. So, we were in the business of manufacturing composite parts for automotive vehicles. We also made shooting ranges for defense applications, for sports applications. And I used to, as a school and college student, I used to work in the summer vacations in my factory and do things. So I was always excited to come back. But obviously, when I left Infosys, I was told that I would get half the salary if I was to come back. I agreed to it. And next 25 years, that's all that I did. Growing the company from a 30-40 people organization to a 700 people organization with 100 crore turnover. We had plants in Indore, Goa, Dharwad, Chennai. We also joint venture with a company called Wind in Germany. And we're catering to all the major automotive OEMs in India, right from Volvo, Eicher, Tata Motors, Post Motors, Ashok Leyland. We were also delivering parts to the London buses. And it was an interesting journey. Growing the organization was a model where an institute with interns, with people who were researching there, could build technologies that could be implemented on ground, and the revenue from them could help sustain the institute. So we used to pay stipend to the students who came there rather than them paying a fee. So it was an interesting model. So that time I had worked on the passive solar heated houses. I knew nothing about construction, but I learned on the fly, went to the sites, used to travel to all these areas on the border and build there today.
So sir, as you said, you work with a lot of different companies and ideas. What was your peak and what was your lowest point of the life?
I've always had peaks. I've never had lows, I would say. There's no point worrying about peaks and lows when you go and do things. So I delivered a TED talk which said, waking up to an exciting day every day. So the first day of my job, I had an HR manager in Grindville Norton called Captain Shekhar, and he said something very beautiful. He said, if you wake up in the morning and feel like, oh, aaj fir se jana padega, that day you should quit your job. And that stuck with me. And I just took it around 180 degree and I said, every day I wake up, I'm going to be excited about something that I do today. So once you have that mindset, it took a time because you used to think, I'm ye karunga, office jaake koi kuch leke aa jaye, koi kuch leke aa jaye, and it would be crazy. Nobody would care. And then your day would be spoiled. So then I realized, anyway, make your goals very, very simple. Like, if I wake up in the morning and I decide, I'll make cool soon ke jaunga. And my day is made. You can't wipe out the smile from my face. So mera high or low out ho gaya. I'm always on a high. Same way, if I decide something, I'll start my day. My office starts, let's say 9 o'clock. I start my day at 5 o'clock in the morning. 7 o'clock I'm in the office. 7 to 9 I've finished my day. जो काम मुझे करने हैं, I've already finished. So 9 onwards I'm available to everybody for any kind of challenge, any kind of questions, any kind of work that is there. So that way, I don't have highs and lows. So it's always a balance. So it's always mechanical. If there's a situation, the problem starts when we start reacting to the situation. And what I do is, I know if this is the situation, these are the next steps, these are the options. Logically, this sounds okay. You move forward. The moment you stop reacting, the highs and lows goes away.
And so, what are some emerging technologies in fintech space that you are particularly excited about?
I don't track fintech much. That's not something I'm very focused on. But I think the role of artificial intelligence and marrying them to a lot of repetitive tasks or where wide data is available and nothing is being done is going to be an exciting new field now. So, for example, if you look into agriculture, agriculture is one area where the AI boom can create a lot of impact, because today a lot of things is done in a very inefficient manner, where the entire supply chain is inefficient, the processing is completely person driven, and tomorrow's battles will be fought for food and water, and these are two areas where there's a lot of wastage. I'll give you an example. The water that we get and which we throw out, a country like Israel recovers about 90% of that water. So there is no waste. The water goes, they process it, and then again recycle it back. Okay. The next country in line is about 20% reuse. So between 90% and 20% is a large gap. And I'm sure a lot of work on grassroots, whether it is agriculture, whether it is the way we grow food, how we process our day-to-day things, our buildings, the way we design. Today these buildings are inefficient buildings. These are concrete buildings which are bad in heat and cold. Okay, but structurally strong. But there will be a lot of new things that will emerge in the coming days, which would be much more sustainable. So agriculture, water, food, buildings, these are some core domain areas where we should see a lot of change coming in. With large computing powers, with large systems which can design new. Like AI is today discovering a lot of material, lot of molecules which were assumed to be, which would have taken much long years of experimentation to discover. They are now simulating and coming up to answers. So I think those are quite exciting areas that we should be looking forward to. There will be a lot of change. Quantum computing is another, next couple of years. Energy is another space where the way we are today generating and consuming energy, and the way what it's looking for in future, whether it is solar, whether it is hydrogen, there are a lot of exciting opportunities coming.
सर जैसे बाहर की कंट्रीज एआई यूज कर रही है, तो सर इज इट लाइक कि इंडिया इस वजह से पीछे जा रहा है बिजनेस, इंडिया के बिजनेसेस दूसरी कंट्री के एआई लॉन्च करने से पीछे जा रहे हैं?
देखो इंडिया में ना हमारा प्रोडक्ट पे फोकस बहुत कम रहा है ट्रेडिशनली, हम सर्विसेज पे घुस गए, और ये लास्ट 30-40 years का ये जर्नी रहा है that we have never focused on products, and that's something that is going to hurt us. Okay, but India has a lot of opportunities in implementing what has already been developed into great applications. Like today, you're far behind the AI race. You have not built your own models. Fair enough. Now that those models are freely available, what can you build using it? I think that's the more important stage. I think that's where, as a country, we need a very clear direction and focus. कि अब वो नए मॉडल्स, जैसे हम चैट जीपीटी 1.5 साल तक बोलते रहे, वो धीरे से डीप सीक आया, खा गया ना, but then that didn't happen suddenly. China had invested in deep seek for a long period. Okay, they knew. हमारे यहाँ पे when technologies are emerging, we are hardly investing time and money into it. We are great at coming, when something picks up, then we start running towards it. I think that attitude certainly has to change. That's a need. But given that there are technologies now available, how do you adapt that to your conditions? Like you see, आज foreign countries में population कम है, यूरोप यूएस में देख लें, population कम है, land mass ज़्यादा है, they can afford to be inefficient, and AI brings in some sort of efficiency and automation. India में the use cases will be vastly different. India में use cases for those AI, हम उसको के direct use cases को copy करेंगे तो यहाँ नहीं चलेगा. We have to build our own use cases here on the AI models. How do you develop better ways to do things using what is available? I think applicators की आज हमारे देश में बहुत कमी है जो अच्छे आइडियाज को contextualize करके implement कर सके. So that's an opportunity.
सर लाइक अभी जैसे 2 साल हो गए ऑलमोस्ट चैट जीपीटी को, तो अभी तक इंडिया में मैंने सुना नहीं, आई हैव नेवर हर्ड कि पीपल आर यूजिंग एआई, इवन बिग बिजनेसेस आर.
नहीं, बिग बिजनेस आर यूजिंग एआई इन अ ग्रेट वे, एंड एआई का वो हिट आना शुरू होगा. अभी दिक्कत यही हो रहा है कि बिग बिजनेसेस आर यूजिंग, लाइक अभी रिसेंटली इन मूवी व्हिच इज अनदर ग्रेट स्टार्टअप, they announced that they have already moved 50% of their programming to AI. Programmers नहीं है उनके, and by end of this year 80% of their programming will be AI generated. That means 80% programmers will not be needed, है ना? अब ये हो गया वो एप्लीकेशन जिसमें you are using AI to eliminate people. But point is, AI has a great potential to solve grassroots problems. आज आपके पास plethora of data है, whether it is weather data, land data, soil data, water data. So much can be done with those data sets. Put it on an AI model and compute things that can be optimized for those locations. आज क्या होता है, हम जैसे एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ पानी का, है ना? हम सोचते हैं कि वो नल लगा देंगे तो हर जगह पानी पहुंच जाएगा. हमारा जल जीवन मिशन है ना, विच सेज घर घर पानी. बट लद्दाख में क्या होता है मालूम है? वो जल जीवन मिशन के पानी के नलों का वो नल लगाते हैं, वो -20 में तो पानी पहले से ही जमा हुआ तो आएगा ही, है ना? तो कंटेक्चुअलाइज करना बहुत जरूरी है. आप राजस्थान में चले जाएंगे तो वहां अलग है, गुजरात में चले जाएंगे, मध्य प्रदेश में चले जाएंगे, बावड़ियों का कॉन्सेप्ट है ना, तालाब का कॉन्सेप्ट है. हर जगह अलग अलग सॉल्यूशंस हैं जो काम करते हैं. व्हेन वी वर्क इन अ गवर्नमेंटल अप्रोच, हम क्या करते हैं, एक स्टैंडर्ड मॉडल लेते हैं, हर जगह बोलते हैं पानी की टंकी बना दो, है ना? वो नहीं होता है. AI today has the potential of capturing a lot of local wisdom, lot of local knowledge and contextualizing solution which says इस एरिया में अगर ये पैरामीटर्स हैं तो दिस विल वर्क बेटर. जो विजडम है, विजडम को हम एआई में बिल्ड कर सकते हैं टू बिल्ड कम अप विद यूनिक रिकमेंडेशंस लुकिंग एट द वेरियस ज्योग्राफिक कंडीशंस. सो आई थिंक दैट्स अ ग्रेट पोटेंशियल फॉर एआई व्हिच कैन बी अ गेम चेंजर इन इंडिया. टुडे वी आर नॉट हार्नेसिंग दैट. इस पे लोग काम करना शुरू कर रहे हैं और अच्छे स्टार्टअप्स कर रहे हैं काम, पर इट्स स्टिल नॉट रीच्ड इट्स पोटेंशियल.
आपके कॉम्पिटिटर्स कौन-कौन हैं and how do you manage to go up against them?
I don't have any competitors. Whoever is doing the work in a similar domain like us, we would rather collaborate with them and work with them rather than be compete. हम किस लिए compete करेंगे? हम तो चाहते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इस तरह का change आए. I would rather work with everyone. मतलब किसी के पास कोई नया आइडिया है तो I would rather learn from them and use them. और if we have something that we have discovered, जैसे हमारा ये बनाना वाला is open source. We are freely giving them this formulation. We don't want to make money out of it. So the objective of my lab is not to make money. It is about solving problems on ground. And how do you create, solutions that work everywhere. So हमारा कोई competitor नहीं है. जो भी है हमारे दोस्त हैं. उनसे हम सीखते हैं, हम उनसे सीखते हैं.
So sir, money was ever your concern at first?
देखो, my money part of life is over. For 25 years I've run my business, earned enough money.
Not for now. Before.
मैं कभी भी मनी के पीछे तो नहीं दौड़ा, है ना? मैं हमेशा अच्छी चीज करने के लिए दौड़ा हूँ, मनी पीछे दौड़ा है.
नहीं, was it ever your concern कि थोड़ा बहुत भी लगा कि like थोड़ा नहीं ऐसा नहीं हुआ आपके साथ?
I've been fortunate enough, मतलब पैसा को हमने जब मैंने left Infosys, I would have gone to USA and हो सकता है USA सेटल हो जाता. I came back here at half the salary, ना? उस वक्त भी ये सोचा नहीं कि पैसे का क्या. आज भी आई नेवर आस्क क्वेश्चंस ऑन हाउ मच विल आई गेट फॉर सम एक्टिविटी. आप पैसे के पीछे दौड़ोगे तो आप कॉम्प्रोमाइज करोगे. आप अच्छी चीजों के पीछे दौड़ोगे तो पैसा अपने आप पीछे दौड़ेगा. इफ यू सॉल्व थिंग्स, इफ यू सॉल्व प्रॉब्लम्स, मनी विल रन आफ्टर यू. इफ यू रन आफ्टर मनी, प्रॉब्लम्स विल रन आफ्टर यू. तो मैं प्रॉब्लम्स के पीछे दौड़ता हूँ, पैसा अपने आप पीछे आता है. पैसा कभी भी रिस्ट्रेन नहीं होता है, ये हमने स्टडी किया है. पैसा कभी भी लिमिटेशन नहीं होता है. अगर आप अच्छी चीज कर रहे हैं, अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, पैसा अपने आप आता है.
बट इंडिया में एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि बड़े बिजनेसेस का छोटी मोटी फैक्ट्री कॉपी करती है. इट कैन बी बिस्किट्स, चॉकलेट. तो सर ये मेंटालिटी क्या है इंडिया की कि ये सिर्फ कॉपी ही करना, नए प्रोडक्ट अपने नहीं लाना?
सही नहीं है. ऐसा नहीं है कि यही है. कई बार छोटी कंपनीज को भी बड़ी कंपनी कॉपी कर लेती है ना? तो मतलब आज इंदौर में जो नमकीन का मॉडल है, आज से 20 साल पहले मेरा एक कॉलेज का फ्रेंड जो एक बड़ी कंपनी में काम करता था, आई डोंट वांट टू नेम दैट एमएनसी, वेरी वेल नोन एमएनसी, वर्ल्ड वाइड एमएनसी, वो आया इंदौर और उसने इंदौर से बोला किस लिए आया? बोले इंदौर से मेरे को नमकीन कलेक्ट करने को बोला. तो 30-40 वैरायटी नमकीन वो बैग में भर के लेके गया. उसके 6 महीने बाद मैंने देखा वो बड़ी कंपनी ने उसमें से 5-6 ब्रांड लॉन्च किए अपने नाम से, पर ऑब्वियसली वो चल नहीं गया. क्योंकि उनका बिजनेस मॉडल अलग था, यहाँ तो हमारे बिल्कुल खाते पीते शहर वाले हैं, उनको मालूम है क्या चलता है, क्या स्वाद है, किस तरह से. तो it's not always that big companies copy small, are being copied by small, even the small are copied by big. It's about having a good business model. And आपका मॉडल अगर लोग कॉपी कर रहे हैं तो दैट मीन्स दैट यू हैव अ ग्रेट मॉडल. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, इफ यू डोंट कीप इवॉल्विंग एंड कमिंग अप विद बेटर प्रोडक्ट्स, आपको बाकी लोग कॉपी करके ला देंगे. ये तो बहुत नेचुरल है ना. मतलब जिसने पहला शिकार करने के लिए भाला बनाया, वो क्या अकेला वो भाले के साथ मर गया क्या? नहीं मरा ना. उस भाले को 10 लोगों ने कॉपी किया. जिसने पहला बीज ढूंढा कि ये गैदरर से अब नाउ वी कैन डू फार्मिंग, did he die with those seeds? No. There were 20 other people, thousands of people who copied, and today we have reached a particular point. जिसने स्टीम इंजन बनाया, उसको 10 लोगों ने कॉपी करके नए एप्लीकेशन ढूंढे. जिसने कंप्यूटर बनाया, उस कंप्यूटर के 10 एप्लीकेशन और निकले. आज एआई बना है तो वो भी कॉपी हो रहा है, उसके भी 10 एप्लीकेशन हो रहे हैं. कई ओपन सोर्स मॉडल है, यू कैन क्रिएट योर ओन लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल. तो कॉपिंग इज नॉट द प्रॉब्लम, बट क्रिएटिंग प्लेजरिज्म इज अ प्रॉब्लम. अगर आप वही मतलब वो जैसे वॉल्वो बस आई थी तो उसके 2 साल बाद फिर बसेस आने लगी, वॉल्वो, डेल्वो, वॉल्वो, वॉल्वो, मतलब अलग अलग नाम करके. दैट इज नॉट फेयर. बट यस, इफ यू हैव अ ग्रेट मॉडल एंड इट्स बीइंग कॉपीड, दैट्स अ कॉम्प्लीमेंट टू यू. But a challenge also to you, how do you do it better again where, you know, you go ahead of the competition?